back to Arc Salt Lake. We cover authentic, relevant, and community stories.
We're here with Dr. Burton today. We're talking about how parents can talk about tough subjects that might be hard to breach with kids, like sex and drugs and drinking. So he's got some topics on what we as parents, or you've got some tips on what we as parents can do to talk to our kids about these important subjects.
It is, and I think a mistake that many parents make is they just don't talk about it.
Just avoid
Yeah.
They avoid
But
it.
how early should you? I mean, is there an age specific?
Well, that's a good question. I think the earlier the better, but again, it's always age appropriate. And when we were growing up, we didn't talk about like sex or these
Right.
things till much later. But now with the internet and children are much more aware of what's going on in those arenas, with drugs and drinking and sex.
And wouldn't you rather your kids learn it from you rather than whatever they're going to learn on the internet?
That's right. And so I think the mistake parents make, if you don't talk about it and then you wait until something happens, that's not a good time to talk about it. So I think that the important thing, we've talked about this in previous segments, about the importance of communication with children and being able to really listen and validate and have empathy. And so if you form that relationship so that your kids will talk to you, then that's the basis of how you talk.
Make them
to your
comfortable to
children.
talk to you.
Right. And so you never want to scare them. You always don't exaggerate, but be honest and be straightforward. So when you're talking, because you want to always maintain credibility. And I think one way to do that is to be up to date on the current thinking about that. For many years, I think cannabis, and this is still kind of a controversial subject, that it's not that bad for you, but the research that's coming out just doesn't support that.
Especially for youth.
Especially for developing brains. The same is true for alcohol on developing brains. And so you really need to be up to date, I think, on the current thinking about those things. Now, with sexuality, I think it's important to convey your moral values, although there can be moral values attached to substances as well,
Yeah,
but
for
usually it's around sexuality, and that's going to be different for every family. And so in a two-parent home, it's really important that you're together. So you talk about this first, and you say, how are we going to approach our children on these subjects? Because that is more important than anything, to be on the same page. And then you engage them in the conversation. Now, this is the hard part for some parents, because it's important to listen to the pros too. Like, listen, what are the
pros?
Well, no, actually, the pros of being sexual at a young age, or say the pros, the advantages of using substances. And you want to engage the child to see what they're thinking. You don't want to talk at them, and you don't want to lecture them. It's important for you to convey your values and to set the expectations, which we've also talked about in past episodes. That talk about what are the expectations and then what are the consequences or rewards, that go along with those. But it's important to listen to the child so that you know where they're at. What do they think the disadvantages are? What are the advantages are?
And what have they heard?
What have they heard?
Right.
Yeah, you want to know where they're at and what they're listening to.
I know I heard one case, a teenager ended up drinking and then came back and told the parents, where you told me it was bad, but I felt good.
Right.
And so they didn't trust the parents as much.
Right.
Because
so you can talk about
the
that,
honesty is that
here's what you might feel. And that's true around sexuality as well.
Yeah.
You say if your value is don't do this till you're older, but then it's going to feel good. And so how do you talk about that?
So maybe talk about how it does feel good, but it needs to be kept to the appropriate time and place and things like that.
Right. And so I think role play is really important, because often kids get caught off guard. They might be at a party. Someone might come up and say, hey, do you want to try this? Or a boyfriend or a girlfriend might say, hey, let's go have sex. And so I think you need to give them words that they can then say. They can always blame the parents.
My parents will be mad.
I'll be the bad guy.
But I think if you help them come up with responses to some of those questions, then I think that will be helpful.
We've done a thing with our kids where they can just text us an X, and that means, come get me right now, I'm not in a good situation, and I can call them right then and make up some excuse for why they need to come home. And they're like, sorry, my mom says I have to go do this.
Yeah.
So that's safety first, which I think so with substances, you don't want to drive. And so with my kids, it was always call me at any time, doesn't matter.
Right, yeah.
And we'll come pick you up. Or if, help them to understand what it's like to be in a car with someone who might be under the influence. And then again, with sexuality, I think it's important to always use protection. And so a lot of parents stay away from that thinking, well, that will encourage them. There's absolutely no evidence that supports that. Talking about protection or being safe encourages the behavior. It gives the child information and how to respond.
Just make them comfortable to ask questions and talk about
That's
it.
the important thing.
Yeah.
The dialogue.
Right.
Now, if you have any questions about this topic, you can send it to us right now, and in our next hour, we'll sit down with Dr. Burton again and have some answers to what you bring to the table. But scan the QR code there on the screen or email us, arc@kutv.com. We'll keep you anonymous if you have a sensitive
kids
question.
anonymous too.
Yes, kids anonymous too. And we'll answer them in our next hour.